Hello, I'm Robert, and welcome back to our art classes, our art sessions. This will be another Bob Ross painting. It's a red sunset, so it's going to be very vibrant, very bright. It's going to really lighten up your life. It's great on a nice summer day and going outside and see that bright sun and just getting your heart set for a nice, inspiring painting. So, with that said, let me show you what I've got done and let me show you what the colors are first. So the paint colors that we're going to use today will be titanium white. We're going to use a little bit of phthalo blue, midnight black, dark sienna, Van Dyke brown, little alizarin crimson, Indian yellow, yellow ochre, and bright red. Again, it's going to be very bright, very vibrant. We're going to use the palette knife. We're going to use our fan brush and 1-inch brush, maybe a 2-inch brush on this one also, possibly the liner brush, and we'll go from there. So let me show you what I've got done already. Take my little guy down. We'll put Bob behind the curtains for a while. And we're going to begin with a fan brush. So I've got my colors spread out here on my canvas or on my palette. Again, here they all are. In this order, the titanium white, a little bit of red, we have sail blue, black, my dark sienna, my Van Dyke. I've got the bright red over here, got some yellow ochre over here, Indian yellows over here, cadmium yellow over here. So what I've begun on this one is I put a very thin coat, super thin coat of liquid clear on this. You might not even use that. Sometimes you don't even need that in this painting. You could just go directly on. I put it on to make the colors flow a little bit easier. Maybe it's better. And Bob, when he did it, he didn't put that liquid clear on there. But if you do, it's just to get the canvas dusted. Don't put it on very thick at all. It's just got to get into the fabric a little bit, and even once you put it on, you might want to take the paper towel, which I did, and just take some of it off of it, so it just gets in the fiber. So I put the Indian yellow in here. Indian yellow, it hits the canvas, and this is a black canvas that I made with. Sometimes you can buy them already pre-made with black. But in this case, I put the black gesso on top of it. I've put a border around here. You may not want that. I like to have borders around here when I finish. So I've got the tape around it. You may not want that. And I just put this line across here to indicate where my horizon is going to be. And again, then I put the very light coat of liquid clear on it. Then on top of that, I put on some, in the center part, I put in my Indian yellow, touch of cad yellow. I went into the alizarin crimson down here, and up here, alizarin crimson. Then I put a little phthalo blue mixed with some crimson to make it a little bit of a purplish color out here. So those are what I have down here already. This part here looks like it's green because black and Indian yellow or black and yellow makes green. So that's why it looks a little bit green to you there. But when we put the colors down, you'll see what happens and how it turns out. So I'm going to begin by loading my brush up with some titanium white. And you're going to be very playful with this. So when we put this on, you're going to dance around, and we're just going to make little squiggly things and go all the way around it. We're going to start with our brightest spot, go up, and then we're going to clean the brush, get into it again, and go up again. We don't want to keep on going back into that brightest spot without the brush being clean. But it's going to make, you're going to say, wow, look what this is. Are you going to recover from what this looks like? But we'll see. We'll smooth it all out eventually, and I think you're going to enjoy it. So I'm going to come in here, and I'm going to say, this is going to be my brightest spot right in there. So I'm going to twist around. I don't want to lose all my, I'm just using the corner of the brush. Now look how I'm getting some of that nice undercoating of alizarin crimson. I don't want to lose all these black spaces in here, so remember that. I'm going to clean the brush. I'm going to come back into that white. Lightest spot, and I work my way out. Corner of the brush. Twisting. Making all kinds of little shapes here. Clean it again. Come back to my white. Once again, I get some more white, brightest spot, and just twist around. And you can do as many of these as you wish. Clean again. A lot of cleaning with this. Come back in the center again. This is quite a lot of motion. Again, look how I'm doing the corner of the brush and just twirling. Come clean again. Some more white up. That is quite a bright sky. Lots of paint. Brush again. White. Pick up my nice reds, alizarin color up there. Now remember, I'm protecting some of these black spaces here. Okay. All right, that looks like quite a mess there, but we'll see what we can do with it. Okay, set my towel down. I'm going to clean my brush again. I've got a lot of color on there, as you can see, and I have a lot of color built up here. Now, if I were to blend that now, it's going to be too much. It's going to be getting too muddy. So what I'm going to do with this palette knife is I'm going to lightly, where it's very thick, I'm going to come across and lift some of that out. Very lightly. Each time I'm cleaning the brush. I'm sorry, the palette knife. And that's only where I have a lot of buildup. Okay. Clean the palette knife. Then I'm going to come with a clean, dry brush. In this case, I'm going to use a 2-inch brush. And I'm going to, it's clean and dry, I'm going to lightly pull across. I can take a little bit of the corner of it and blend. And gently come across. I keep on tapping it into my paper towel just to make sure it's nice and clean. Barely touching that canvas. That is quite a bright sky. Lots going on in that sky. Okay, now that I've lightly blended that, clean my brush out again. I'm going to come back with my fan brush I'm going to load this back up with some white, titanium white. And I'm going to, with the corner, just suggest some additional bright clouds just on the corners that are drifting around. Everyone comes in here. Just wherever you wish. But I would say you want to, as they say, as Bob would say, think like a cloud. Clouds are very happy, very free. They go wherever they wish. Maybe some down in here. Again, wherever you think they should be, you throw them in. But don't just stay in one spot and grind away. Twirl, spin, and then get away. Now I'm going to clean once again. And I'm going to blend this even a little bit more. So I'm going to come with my nice, clean, dry 1-inch brush. I'm going to catch the bottom of these clouds that I made with just a couple hairs at the end of this brush. And spin it around and just kind of soften the bottoms. Maybe lift up a little bit. I'm just smoothing these out a little bit, but I don't want to destroy the top part of the clouds. Just the bottom, the base. Keep on saying just the corner of the brush. Like the bright sky. Okay. That brush dry again. And I'm going to take these little half strokes just to soften and blend, barely touching the canvas. And half strokes, half circles. Just lifting up, half circles. Bring the brush again at the end with just a paper towel. And then I'll lightly go across, barely touching. And here. So there we have our nice, bright summer sky. We are super bright. Now, I'm going to take this tape off. And I'm going to build a little bit of a land color. A hill. We're going to put a hill in here. Okay. So, I'm going to take a little bit of my browns here. These are going to be foothills. I'm going to take some black with a little bit of the crimson. So I'm just mixing, lifting. It's almost like you're doing a batter. Okay. So I'm going to then come with my 1-inch brush. I'm going to just load the end a little bit. Tap, tap, tap. Tap, tap, tap here. And just at these end here, at the very base where I put where I put the horizon, I'm going to just tap in a little bit of a foothill. This is alizarin crimson added to my black. Bring that hill across. Just tap, tap, tap. Mostly the end of the knife, of the brush. And I want a little bit of indication of some distant trees on that foothill. You can't really see them, but I'm not going to just make straight lines. I want a little bit of action there. So I've just got a layer of dark in there to indicate my foothills. I think I'm just going to bring a little bit more on here. Okay, clean the brush. Again, we're using Dip It in odorless thinner. I have a little bit of a rack in there, and then I beat it on the. I have a brush beater rack in a trash can. So then I'm going to take a little bit of, take my large brush. I'm going to just tap a little bit of white. You know, just got a little touch of white in the end of it. And I'm going to come over here and I'm going to just pull straight down. It's picking up the Indian yellows from the top. You got the alizarin crimson. The alizarin crimson is in that below that. Straight down. I'm going to get my brightest spot right here. And then I'm going to keep coming across. A little bit more white. Brightest spot. pressing a little bit firm on this now, but still straight down. Okay, so I got all those nice bright colors on there. I'm going to take my brush and clean it once again and just come across lightly. This softens it up. And it makes it look like nice reflections. A little more white in there. And we'll leave a little bit of these white marks down here, which will indicate some water lines. Nice and soft. Okay, so we have the color pulled down. I'm going to take my palette knife I'm going to pull out some white, cut across, get that little row of paint. Just cut across here, got a little row of paint at the end of it. And I'm just going to put in a few little indications of some water lines. Remember, they have to be straight. Water runs straight. We don't want them falling off our painting. Water can't splash out of this canvas. And you can just, sometimes you can just touch the canvas. And sometimes you want to have a nice, a little bit thicker paint on there. Like here, to indicate some reflections, splashes. Sometimes it's nice with the palette knife to just touch the canvas and pull it out, get some nice texture. Okay. So we'll clean your palette knife. And now we're going to add some nice big trees in our painting. So we can do that with the palette knife. We could do it with the fan brush, we could take our big brush here, which is 2-inch brush, and we can wiggle, tap, pull it out, wiggle, both sides. And I've got, if you look at that, I've got a nice sharp point on it. So we'll come up with it and we'll build a nice big tree. So I tap that down here. I just go on the end. Get more color. We'll really bring it into the, we'll bring it way into the foreground here. Now, come back. And, you know, sometimes, as I said, you could do this with a fan brush. Works very nice too. So I could just come here. We'll give him one more friend. We'll put him over here. Make this guy the tallest one. Then we're going to come over on the other side, on the left, and we're going to do the same thing. We'll come up here, make a little guideline here, and then we're going to zigzag. As we come to that bottom base, I think I'll just take my bigger brush and we're just going to come down. Now we'll have to give him a friend too, so we build another one here. We'll take him all the way down here also. And as I said, you could do this with a 2-inch brush and 1-inch brush. I'll put one more over here. Now I'm going to come in this bottom section and I'm going to clean my brushes up. So I've got hand brush, and I've got my 1-inch brush and 2-inch brush. Lots of cleaning with these. So then I'm going to come with either my 1-inch brush, but in this case I'm going to go into a rounded brush and I'm going to tap in some darks that are going to be our bushes. This side. Just tap in some darks so we can put in some highlights and some lights in a minute. Okay. In the brush. And now we're going to come back with our palette knife. I'm going to take a little bit of white, put that over here, take a little bit of my browns, cut across, and just indicate some tree trunks. Some more little trees down here. Side. And scrape up a few little twigs and sticks. Put as many of these as you wish in here. And you can also scrape them in. Okay. Nice loose ones in here. Better stop before I get carried away with those. Now we're going to do some a little bit of highlights on there. So I'm going to use the palette knife. And I'm going to make a highlight color, and I think for that I'm going to take a little bit of I'm going to start with my 1-inch brush here, and I'm going to come in with some crimson, a little bit of black, the dark, tap on here. I'm just going to tap in some colors at the end of here. Don't want to overdo it. I put just a tiny bit of white with that mixture, just so you could see it a little bit better. I don't want to overdo it. On this side. Okay, think about clumps when you're doing this. And you don't want to, again, you don't want to lose all that black. You want to keep this fairly dark in this section here. Okay. Don't stay in one spot. Skip around. And think, as I said, in clumps. Okay. We have our shrubs in there. I'm going to clean my brush again. when it's clean brush, I'm going to come straight down and lightly across, and we'll get some reflections underneath that section. Straight down here, same thing. A little bit of white in there. A little spot, white, and across. We have some nice soft reflections. Okay. Now you can think, well, I could put some water lines in there, so let's do that first. We're just going to take a mixture of titanium white, and we're going to put a couple, well, build a water line across here. Be a nice spot to go fishing. We'll come on this side. Here. Bring a couple in here too. We'll pull them out a little bit. Pull them out, soften them up. Okay, now that might be a spot where you would stop, or else you can come in here back in here with my darks. Got a roll of paint over here, and this might be a wonderful spot for a cabin. And here. We just put our darks in first. We need our darks so we can get our lights. Okay, so we have our dark in here. And then we'll take, clean my brush or my palette knife. We'll come in here with some white, a little bit of brown. We want it marbly. And I'm just going to take and gently touch and pull down. Over here. We'll just indicate a little bit of a wood pattern here. On our sides. And then we'll decide, well, we can do that right now. I'm going to clean the color off first. I'll get a little bit of paint here and we'll put in a door here. Maybe a little window over here. Okay, so that starts our cabin. Put a couple more. I'll put another window over here. And then one over here. He wants to have lots of lights. I'll highlight that door. And then we'll put up, straight up and down to indicate some slats. Going down. Then you can decide what kind of top he's going to have. I'm going to take a little bit of this orange. It's going to got a little bit of roll on the end of it. And we're just going to put it indicate a nice little shingled roof. Put some more slats onto it, or another side. And we'll come over here too. Okay. Then we'll come with our 1-inch brush. And we'll build him some bushes. Take some bushes. Use a little bit of ochre, a bit of cad yellow, a bit of bright red. I'm just tapping. Just tap some nice bushes around him. He needs a nice view. Just put a few more of these. Tap a little more values into our foliage. Just keep on putting a little bit more. And I'm thinking clumps. In this section. Keep on adding some more color. Now, if it's not sticking, you either add more liquid white or liquid clear. Come back with our nice round brush. I'm doing the same thing. I'm tapping lots of color into it. Some over here. Get that cabin sealed in there. This is a nice view. You sit out there by the water. going to take a little bit of my brown, come over here. This will be his pathway. There's this nice pathway into his cabin. And this is where I like to have some texture. So I'm just touching and lifting up. I touch, let the canvas grab it. And lift it up. Give him some sticks and twigs. Scratch little things down here. Get a few more up on this side. As I said, you can scratch them too. You want to get those kind of free, wild. Yeah, he's my son's a very good builder, but this is more the type of a cabin that I would probably build. Very rickety. Just grabbing whatever supplies I have around, hanging around. We'll make a little bit of a bank over here. Cut across. More here. This, as I said, this would be a nice spot to go out, spend a weekend in the woods, go fishing. Catch a nice big bass. Make a campfire. Go with your friends. Tell them some of your old time stories, I guess. So when you finish with that part, come over here. I have a little bit of thinner on it. And we'll just sign this. Okay, I hope you like this one. I hope you'll try it. I'm going to take the tape off to show you what that edging looks like. Okay, as I said, some people like this nice border on it. I think it frames it nicely, so I like to put mine with borders on it. If you don't want it, that's fine. But I hope you'll try this one. This is a little bit bigger one than we usually do. This is a 24 by 24, as I said. You could make your roof red if you wish. You can put some more variety of colors in there if you wished. So it's got a lot of potential of things that you might want to add to it. In this case, I have a little bit of a water coming down in here, a little bit of falls coming down toward the bottom. It's kind of a nice little effect. You know, like I said, I might be out here just on this end, just fishing off into here, hoping a big bass would come up and visit, sneaking up on it. So I hope you try it. Look for other videos. We have new videos coming every week. We have another watercolor one coming. That should be maybe out tomorrow, as early as tomorrow. It'll be some lovebirds. Good time of the year to have that with all the chaos that's going on in the U.S. We'll do some lovebirds in there. So join us again. Try this. This is Robert, and we will see you soon.